in Midland here, I had dude, like, I was in the corner in D-Pod upstairs, and this dude right next to me where I could see in his room. He's standing in the glass rapping at 3 a.m, and I can't sleep because all I can hear is this guy, and there's nothing you can do.
Was he any good?
No, he's terrible. Welcome back to the Level Up Life, Muscle and Mindset Mastery. Thank you for tuning in. This is episode 26, our season finale. So I want to send you off, from the beginning of this episode with something to consider. Every thought you hold is creative energy in motion. Intentional thoughts are the foundation of intentional living. The more clearly you think and feel something, the more powerful you draw it into your life. What you focus on will always continue. And today, we got Wazny. So, once again, thank you for tuning in. Waz, welcome.
What up? What up?
So, 25 episodes. This is 26. It's been quite the journey so far.
It's flown by.
Has.
Flown by. A lot of cool stories. This feels more where I know you pretty well.
Yeah.
All them other people, it's pretty easy to just sit back and pretty good at forgetting that I'm supposed to be included myself in it, and I'm just soaking in their story.
Right. Yeah. A lot of really good stories, a lot of overcoming things, like things that I haven't experienced. One that stuck out to me that really was, I think, getting cancer, right? What that would be like. So talking Jimmy Green.
Yep.
He not only once, but twice has beaten cancer. And I find that to be a phenomenal testament to his mental strength.
Oh, yeah.
In his approach, just how he navigated that journey. You know, I never really thought about when someone is sick, doesn't have to be cancer, how stressful it can be when not just one person, but every person in that individual's life is constantly asking, are you okay? Are you okay? How are you doing? You know, where just his perspective has changed how I approach things like that. Because if you just, hey, I'm here for you if you need me. Simply telling that person you care and you're there for them is enough. Instead of what could be putting them in a worse place.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, it's a lot of warriors that have been through, and I couldn't imagine that type of thing, but at the same point, we're warriors. And I think a lot, muscles and working out, gym, all in that back burner is we have that get through warrior mentality where, hope I never have to go through it. I hope nobody really true, near and dear has to go through it in the future, yeah.
I think a lot of it, when we talk like fears and worry and that type of thing, and I think about my own personal journey and where I'm at, just turned 40, my body's starting to break down in my competitive nature, like sports, it's not what it used to be, right? So it's got me reflecting a lot about my age, right? Aging is a factor. And then I'm thinking about the mindset of people who are, in their 70s, 80s, when you're close, you don't have 4 decades left, It makes me think about, so even more in depth on that topic, like I can sit here and I can worry about what could happen to me in the future, but ultimately when something does happen, we're all going to face some sort of adversity. We have the choice to either run from it, cower from it, or hit it head on and do what we can with the cards that we're dealt.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I know you weren't a football player, but when you're bringing the noise and you're doing the one hitting, whether you got the ball, whether you're playing defense, definitely don't feel it as much as when you're standing there and you get drugged. I think it's the way I've tried to live every which way is going forward. I'll run into the fire. I ain't gonna run from the fire.
Right.
Except it's hot. And that's bullshit.
Yeah. Like opening your front door nowadays, this time of year.
Yeah. You don't like it so much anymore, huh?
Let's not get carried away.
You want to revisit this in 3 months down the road?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll revisit the temperature.
You'll see an authentic smile. Maybe 4 or 5 months.
Mm-hmm. So anything like from all the episodes we've recorded so far, is there one thing that really stuck out to you?
Oh my God, there's a million one things.
Right.
Let's
start at the top. First one that comes to mind.
Probably 400 miles in 4 days.
Yeah.
Dude, that's impressive. Impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine how sore your butt cheeks would be. You imagine that current and how cold that water is. And then Forrest Gump in 65 miles after that. Damn it, boy.
Brandon, you're the man, dude. Much respect.
Yeah, what do you got?
Man, I really relate to when we had Terry and Jolyn on and the loss of loved ones. That really hit home with me because, that's been the biggest trigger for me in my life when it comes to substance abuse is the pain that I feel when I have someone close to me pass away. So it's like hearing their stories and how they've navigated it. It was really inspiring to me, but it also offered me an opportunity to dig in even a little more to my loss. And when you dig in more, you can heal more. So
yeah. And I mean, it's just like parenting, right? There's no playbook.
Mm-hmm.
Where, I mean, everybody's different and every death hits different. Like, I knew it was going to come up when you brought up my mom, and that was only a month or two after my mom had passed.
Yeah.
And, that moment got me there. But I struggle with grief in a lot different ways than losing somebody. I mean, when I know somebody's got Jesus, I'm pretty good. I have, my moments and my own selfishness, but I do pretty well with it because I recognize it as that. Like, they have never been better in their lives, right? Not when they first held their child or they said I do to their soulmate, all that stuff, right? You walk through them gates. That's all we work for here. So I take a lot of peace in that. Not to say that it's not easy. I mean, I miss my ma every day. And I think of her every day, and I see things, out walking days that my mom's around, right? And I get them blessings, and for my first 43 years, I was lucky enough to have her, right? And that's the stuff I try and hang on and make that louder than anything.
Right. So what else? I mean, there's so much we could talk about, like Dan and Travis, both of their experiences inside and then what they're doing since they've gotten out. It's really, really cool to see.
Yeah. And
it's a testament to, people can change.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people do understand that, but there is that oh no factor, right? Oh, and people that'll clutch your purse a little tighter or walk across the road to not pass them on the sidewalk. But I mean, both incredible in what they're doing. I mean, Dan waiting, till now and going for his degree after all he's already accomplished, despite all his battles. Like, that stuff's huge. And, it also kind of highlights on how much drugs and substances can take somebody's soul, right? Where I first met Dan when he had his good run of being sober. And he was sober then, and we related as we were setting up that gym. There was no equipment in there.
I remember those days.
When we first met, and then, hearing that he kind of fell off, and then where he is now, because the Dan I know, right?
He's a good dude.
He wasn't that way. I mean, that dude he was an oak, and yeah, there's so many. I'd love to see the list of them all to where it'd be like, oh,
yeah.
I mean, Chief Ford.
Yeah.
Well, what she's been through and what she's accomplished
throughout the last 5 years, what she's experienced and accomplished navigating everything that she went through. Losing a child is probably one of the hardest things.
That was the hardest for me when your intro into bringing that up for her to talk about. She kept making eye contact with me, and I'm starting, holy shit, I was filled with emotion, right? I'm trying to not look and try and not choke up because I know she's borderline trying to keep. That was rough. And those are shoes I would not ever want to be in. Holy moly. I mean, you're not supposed to bury your kids. And, and to be in the spotlight anywhere, right? Like, I would have a hard time looking anybody in the eye after going through that. Like,
yeah. Two really big ones. Well, and we'll say three because Chief Ford too. Knowing my background, having her on, having Chris Swanson on. He's not in the area I live in, but he's still a sheriff and running for governor. So, and then Judge Beal, who presided over my case in drug court, and we got to kind of relive some of our shared experience. And I don't think he remembered, but I want to highlight this specific moment because it seems like it was out of a movie, and it's hard to believe even reading my court transcripts, but they literally said the people of the state of Michigan versus Adam Wittbrodt. And then it said loud thunder heard in courtroom because it was like, crash. And I'm just like,
mm-hmm.
And then he says, couldn't have had more ominous time for that now, could we? And it was 2 months later, I was in Jackson. So that was a nightmare for me. But also to have the respect of him after my past life is really cool. And to be able to sit across from him and conversate about his position as a judge was really cool.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I used to run from cops, dude, and I used to sit in handcuffs in front of judges.
Yeah.
So to be able to sit here and talk about like being a police officer, being a judge,
yeah,
cool.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, I know we talked about it with Chief Ford that we had that respect because they were doing their job, right? Like, I mean, I'm sure whether being before or after being cuffed and stuff that, it was somehow, let me go, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I always kept that like, I did it. I mean, there's no point in
fighting now
and running and all that. But yeah, it's a night and day difference. I mean, I look forward to that Judge Beal one and you relaying my message to him and getting the email from him, because I do believe I wouldn't have made it maybe 3 to 6 months that I would have stayed sober had it not been for getting sentenced to decent amount of time. Where, holy moly, I mean, it made my journey pretty easy because, dude, I hated that stuff. I hated the company, right? I couldn't wrap my head around the people that back and forth and in and out and living it up, just loving life, playing spades and having the time of their life. I mean, you freaking idiots in orange. Like, there was no way I was going back to that, right?
Some of that's just make the best out of the situation you're in, you know.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. Like,
yeah, some of it is, but
yeah,
that's minimal, because you could tell in every behavior. And when 30-year-old dudes are acting like they're 14, it's because that's the life they've had. Yeah, I'm going to act like an idiot, and then I'm going to go get locked up, get 3 hots in a cot, and still act like an idiot.
Play cards all day, gamble, jail food.
Oh, dude, it was them trying to sleep all day and then be up all night. And it would only quiet down when I'm like, you guys got 2 options. You either shut up, I can go hit the button, or you come to my cube, and I'll shut you up.
Oh, man, that reminds me. I had in Midland here, I had, dude, like, I was in the corner in D-Pod upstairs, and this dude right next to me where I could see in his room. He's standing in the glass rapping at 3 a.m, and I can't sleep because all I can hear is this guy, and there's nothing you can do.
Was he any good?
No, he's terrible. Terrible. So that made my time there a little bit more strenuous, but you know, that's just one of those other, you know, moments that I'm like, I put myself here. This is all on me. This is on me.
Oh, yeah.
I can't control what this guy's rapping or singing in his window, but I can make sure I don't have my ass back here.
Every day, because I didn't want to get added charges, right? Every day. I did that, and that made me hate booze, substances that much more. And I mean, that was pretty good, right? Like, I was in J-Pod, and I don't know how it ended up, but there was this one old boy from Flint Town in there, and he was in J-Pod forever. And I mean, that's a short timers work release one, right? And as I would come and go, and I'm like, and he knew my schedule pretty good. I'm like, dude, you tell everybody I'm a gay cop. So when I came back, everybody was scared. It was the big gay cop, and they thought I was a narc, so nobody would talk to me. Nobody would walk past my cue. Like, it was peaceful. I read football season. I'd go watch the Lions 1 to 4. Back up, reading the big book, reading whatever book I was going through then.
Peaceful, though.
Oh, man, it was great. I'm like, dude, I wish I would have thought about this, like, the very initial. But I didn't know what jailing was like, right? It was, I knew some drunk tank moments, and it was super brief every other time. So,
yeah, I'm glad I went through everything I did to get where I'm at. Because we could sit here and regret this decision, that decision, but ultimately we can't change it. So,
no. I mean, you think, right, we're what's a big thing that we do, right? Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
Would we have the same impact at that juvenile center if we didn't have our story?
Probably not. I don't think the kids would connect with us on the level that they do.
No. Because sometimes, I mean, we get the cold shoulder at first till a week or two. You know.
Go to fist bump someone and they just mean mug you as they walk by until they know that we understand. Then it helps that wall come down and we can actually establish a connection.
Yeah. And, I mean, that is the thing. I mean, there's so many things I'm thankful and grateful for you. I mean, getting to hear all these stories on this podcast, but the very biggest one for working for you is going in there, right? And the fact that we're going to be starting Bay County, like, save them all, man. It is the most rewarding. Not always easy, but gosh, is it? It's good work, and it's freaking important work.
Yeah, like last week, it was so cool to see all the kids cheering each other on.
Oh,
and
dude, that was...
They were getting kids that, you know, not mentioning names, but you know, the ones that don't like working out. They don't want to work out. They don't even want to move. That were like talking about, well, I need to do this when I get out. And then being able to explain to them when they're all sitting here laughing, having a good time, that moment, it was crucial to explain to them this right here is a result of your physical activity. This right here is the same chemicals that you chase when you're getting high out in the world. This right here is dopamine, endorphins as a result of exercise. This is natural way to produce this. So it's a big part of our lives. What I can't imagine not being able to exercise in some capacity.
Yeah.
Weight training is my favorite, but for some reason I couldn't lift, I would get into running. I guarantee you. It's just not my favorite, like distance running.
I walk the dog. No, I think you nailed the cheering for each other, right? Because here you got all these kids that have had bad behavior of some form or another. They got them locked up. And like any high schoolers, right? Whatever situation or junior high, middle school, whatever, the clickiness. And it was true, authentic, cheering each other on was so cool. I was so thankful to be a part of that, right? Like, definitely my favorite moment out of all of them being in there over the last year plus was them rooting each other on. And it didn't matter if it was they beat my time, right? It was good stuff.
Now let's take a moment to thank our sponsors, Pine Haven Assisted Living. At Pine Haven Assisted Living, they believe in making every resident feel at home. Nestled in the peaceful countryside of Hemlock, Michigan, they offer compassionate care in a family-like environment where residents can enjoy independence with the support they need. Registered nurse-owned and operated, their team provides personalized care, home-cooked meals, and a range of activities to ensure your loved ones continue to live a fulfilling life. They also have alpacas and llamas on site to enrich the lives of their residents. Experience the warmth and comfort of Pine Haven. Call them today at 989-295-6632. That's 989-295-6632. Or you can visit them on their website at pinehavenassistedliving.com. That's pinehavenassistedliving.com for more information. Now, back to the Level Up Life. Yeah, so it's exciting to be able to expand what we're doing. For the audience who doesn't know, we have a program where we go into the juvenile center twice a week here in Midland. We work with the kids. It's not just the physical exercise that we bring to the table, but we bring in our experience, right? Where as mentors, the children can relate to us. And so we're teaching them a life skill and fitness. We're connecting with them because of our past. And then we're helping them realize, it's okay if something's bothering you, you can talk about it. It's good to get it off your chest so that it doesn't eat you inside. And 2, there's always something to be grateful for. When these kids have someone to connect with, like us, or, other people out there that are doing the same thing, Miss Carrie, she's another one. They have a village of people that they know they can count on, that they can open up to, they can be themselves around, that genuinely care about them. And that's what all these kids need across the United States. Did you know the United States houses, so I can't remember the numbers. Let's bring up that video. We incarcerate youth at a higher rate than any other country.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are crimes for, you get, you're a kid, you drink, you get locked up. Because right. You're a kid. Drinking isn't illegal. It's a crime of status only because they're kids. So let's roll footage.
In the US, a kid ending up behind bars for accidentally pocketing a candy bar actually isn't that much of a stretch. And that is what our story is about tonight, our juvenile justice system. We've occasionally touched on it before. You may remember in our school police story, we talked about kids winding up arrested for crimes like throwing Skittles or having a tantrum. That's just one of the many ways for kids to fall into this system. And while it's true that some have committed serious crimes, far more often they're in trouble for things like vandalism, theft, or even so-called status offences like truancy or underage drinking, basically crimes that are only crimes if you are a kid. You may have even seen stories like the one about the 6-year-old who went to court for picking a tulip from a yard at his bus stop. The point is, our juvenile courts are busy. In 2022, the most recent year for which data is available, they heard just over 600,000 cases. That same year, over 130,000 kids were detained ahead of judgment, with an additional 38,000 locked up as a result of judges' orders. The US actually incarcerates youth at many times the rate of other nations. That's from the Global Study on Children Deprived of Liberty, which is not a study you want to be on the leaderboard of. It's like hearing a urologist say, single weirdest one I've ever seen. That's how ashamed we should be. It's a topping the weird dicks list level of shame. And while we occasionally get glimpses of this system, it tends to be worryingly opaque. Juvenile court hearings are often closed to members of the public, which does make sense in a way. It's important to protect kids' privacy, but in practice, that creates a dangerous lack of accountability for the adults in charge. Because the truth is, our juvenile justice system has many of the flaws of our adult one, except the people running it have even more power, and the damage it can do is even longer lasting. So tonight, we're going to take a longer than usual look at 2 things: our juvenile justice system and the facilities it can far too often funnel kids into.
Yeah, there's a whole industry out there where they ship kids off to I think it's like the wilderness industry, or basically they come pick kids up. Parents know about it, but from a child's perspective, it's almost like they're being kidnapped. They don't have a choice to go or not, and they just are taken off into these wilderness camps. The way that we address kids in general when they get in trouble these days, and I'm not saying like spanking is the answer, but locking a kid up for taking a candy bar, is that the right thing to do?
There is so much, and like you're talking with that wilderness, you want to have added trauma, right? No matter what their behavior, right? Whether they should have went somewhere, or whether, what steps should have been taken. But you just up the ante on what that behavior is going to be. Now we're just picking a number out of a hat to see if they're going to be a screw up or not. I mean, and you already have some sort of bad behavior. You post that stuff with me, like me mentally at 44 years old. You know where I'm going? It's like, oh, you want to play games? We'll play games, right? Let's grab gears. You guys thought I was bad before? Okay. And I'm out.
Yeah.
Sheepers.
Yeah, there's something broken, and we kind of touched on this in the episode with Carrie, but it's a societal thing right now. Whether it's the internet, whether it's social media, if it's a combination of all these things, if it's the fact that there's so many people that get offended over the littlest things, like in the self-talk aspect, what are we teaching our kids when we're belittling other people in front of them?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there is one cure, but it's just kindness to all, but it's unrealistic for the human condition for everybody to be kind, unfortunately. But I personally feel like when we're talking juvenile justice, there is so many gaps inside of the system. What happens to these kids when they age out? Nothing. Mm-hmm. Nothing good. They're kicked out. Foster cares, they do the same thing. And this isn't necessarily across the board. There are people that, you know, if you're a foster kid, that you can stay, but those people don't get paid for that child anymore. So most of the time they're given the boot.
Yep.
Lack of emotional coping skills to really refine, because were you an adult at 18?
On paper, right?
On paper, right? Lack of emotional stability. I didn't have it when I was 18. Just life skills in general. To go get a job and have to pay bills in this economy, it's like,
yeah,
we're throwing these kids basically into a world where it's easier to reoffend and have that 3 hots and a cot than it is to work hard. And
I mean, that one specific kid that you and I had built that really strong bond with, and when he said to me, well, what's the point? I'm going to almost be 18 when I'm out. Hey, are you going to have it figured out then? I mean, that's the magic number. You've been locked up almost nonstop since you were 11. And, like, no, he'll come and we'll figure it out. And he knows he's got a spot with me. And that'll be as long as it lasts, because that system broke. And, I mean, it gets me fired up. And I'll try and keep it reined in so I don't go on. I won't even be able to call it a rant if them emotions get the better of me. But, oh, no, we found somebody who really wants this kid. Let's send him to this year program, which he's been doing somewhat similar. And the biggest thing for him was maturity. He had Mr. Griffiths, he had yourself, he had me hearing that same message from what he viewed strong males, saying it's okay to be scared. It's okay to talk. And he's finally crossed that threshold. We send him downstate, where
to a program where he can't do that.
Where the wife and I want this kid because he's got it, right? And now it's that little window when he does get out before he turns 18. And I just hope he's not too proud, right? That he does allow himself that grace, knowing he wasn't given full opportunity to be a kid, right? It was, you made a mistake, lock up.
What's he served? 4 years out of the last 5, and he's 16.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
sad.
And it's
he's
tough.
institutionalized. And
yeah.
That's the thing. He's still a child.
Yeah. I mean, when the wife first met him, well, if you got to come and stay with us, what would I want to get a job? And it's, whoa. I said, if there's specific things that you're going to want to earn money for, we can figure some stuff out. I can pick up side work, construction, or you can do chores around the house. I'm like, I want being a kid being your first and foremost goal. Mm-hmm. You have specific things you want Jordans because I'm not buying you $300-$400 shoes.
Right.
Like, that's not in me.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to earn the money for that? That'll help make happen. But I don't want you to think that all of a sudden you move and now you got to be an adult at 16 and you've been locked up. Like, oh, you're going to get as much time as you can to be a kid before we step out in the world and all the responsibilities and everything that comes with it. And it's a shame because he had it figured out, but they were already determined. I think before we met the kid, they were determined this is where it's going to be. And he's just a file. He's just a name on a piece of paper. Right? Have you seen any of these people from this system when we've been there? Has anybody came and even watched us with the kids, yet alone, like, shake the kid's hand or look them in the eye? Now, maybe on a Zoom meeting, right? But we're going to make every decision that's important for this kid.
And I'm sure they do have a system, but I think far too many kids like him are falling through the cracks.
I think a majority of them are. And it's all dependent on the kid, right? It's children of addicts, right? That probably didn't quit, right? It's either they go down that same road, or instead of going east, they're going west, right? And they're going complete opposite direction because they hate that stuff because of what it did to their family, their upbringing, and everything else. And
they're a victim of circumstance, what they were born into.
Yeah.
I think of my own life, and my dad wasn't around, wasn't a great father. He had substance abuse issues, but my mom was amazing. She was an awesome mom.
Still is.
My grandparents were awesome. I had aunts and uncles and cousins, and, I had a pretty good family. And then I hear these stories about kids that their parents overdosed, and one parent's overdosed and is gone, and then one parent's in prison, so they get thrown into the system, and they didn't choose that. But then when they exhibit behaviors to cope, which I'm not endorsing those behaviors, but what type of chance are we giving them to really work through them? And I wish we could do more for these kids, because when they become adults and we don't give them the tools to get a job and these things, pay bills, like, there's not that secondary education opportunity, then they get out there and the cards are still stacked against them. They reoffend and they end up in the adult system. And then what? And then I don't know what the numbers are now, but I think when I was in MDOC, it was $70,000 a year to house one inmate. So, talking taxpayer dollars, it's like, can't we get ahead of it and help a little bit before that happens?
And I think some efforts are slowly being made, right? With the stigma on a lot of things, but it's not enough.
Yeah, and then you talk us going in there, even that's new.
Yeah.
That type of program, carry. So it's a good point. Highlight the positives. We're sitting here talking about all the negatives. So what are the changes they are making, like us, like at least locally here, there's, I think, a lot of good happening. But let's do more.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Let's do more, because it's our future, right?
I would love to see, and I know we've talked about it, you'd love to see it too, but have transitional housing for kids, that young adults, not just minors, but these kids that are been products of the system in and out of juvie, and then get to a point where they're 18 and they're paper adults, but they don't have the life skills, somewhere they can go live, go find a job.
Yeah.
Continue their education.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That, I mean, a lot even just regular high school. Bring back home ec. Bring back a lot of these classes that are teaching you things, right? Like, algebra's got its place. But I mean, I've had some math. I was a pretty strong math dude. Never needed algebra when I was doing construction, right? Mm-hmm. When I'm out there in the field. Used a lot of geometry, right? But a lot of these classes that I did not need, that I was forced to take, you got to take it. But, I can make a sandwich, right? Like teaching kids how basic life skills, changing a tire, changing oil, basic things to live and survive. Basic.
Yeah, I had car care, I had welding, I had woodworking, I had home ec, all the basic classes.
Yeah.
I don't think they do home ec anymore.
No, I don't think they do home ec. I think a lot of the shop ones are done. And I think because
it might be per district too.
If we live old, or if my stubborn kids don't give me grandkids, right? That it's going to switch up. And the people in trades, by time my children are grandparents, those people in the trades are going to make more money when everybody wants to work on a computer and want the easy button. Well, who's going to wire the house? Who's building that house? Who's going to work on the cars? Who's going to do the trades? Are going to make far more money than all these people in the buildings in their cubicles. But everything's the easy button, right? Nobody wants to work. And that you're going to see that flip-flop where being in the trades is going to be the spot. But yeah, you're going to work. You're going to earn your paycheck. But you're going to see that flip-flop, and it's almost looked down upon. Still in school, right? Well, you go to college. Go to college. College ain't for everybody. And I think no matter what, you should have some say-so in your life. You make enough money and you're going to finish your basement in your house and you're going to pay somebody to do it, awesome. But learn the skills at least a little bit. And you have the money, but you want to save as much as you can, and you're going to do it and you're going to make it your own, that you have them skills to do that and you have that choice to do it or not do it, or even just parts of it. Right?
Well, and I think that's just the justice system, as a whole, I think is improving. There's some big names out there like Jelly Roll, who's experienced being incarcerated in juvenile detention and in prison, who's actively making changes. He's doing what he can to advocate for change, which I think is awesome. Love to team up with him, right?
Yeah, oh my goodness.
The more people that can get involved on one goal,
yeah,
the better the outcome.
Yeah, and this affects so much, right? It's our future. It's not all the valedictorians and the salutatorians that are going to have their spot leading our country and leading this world, right? It's going to take everybody. Mm-hmm. It's going to take the kids that are sneaking out into the woods and doing dumb stuff, right? And the more reform and the more it's changed, to get these kids out and get them through, the better off our world is going to be.
I agree.
The more battle-hardened you are as well, I think it's where that kindness and that compassion come in.
Yep.
When you know what bottom's like, it's pretty easy to reach down and help somebody out of that bottom versus walking past with that. Hope they don't see me like I just try and sneak past unnoticed because I don't want to get dirty.
So, love the fact that we're able to have these people on and carry a message. So I'll ask the audience and you, and please, everyone who's listening, comment under the video here. Is there someone you want to see on this show? A topic, a conversation that you want to see on this show? Comment it. Send me a message.
I want to see Jelly Roll now you brought
Right,
him up.
right. Yeah,
I mean,
that'd be cool.
and I would have liked that before, right?
Yeah.
But just bringing it up, and especially that topic, right? The most important, the most grateful I am to work for you is that juvenile center.
It's mission work.
And to have him come out and about, like, that'd be amazing because, you know, you could be watching him from home and how uplifting he is and how many, just taking just a little bit of time of his day and his schedule, how that could impact so many people.
Yeah, 100%. It's cool to see people that are famous like that are still true to who they are too.
Yeah.
Like, from Chris Swanson, friends with him, sat right here and said, Jelly Roll Jason DeFord is the real deal, I'll tell you that. And, like, basically what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
So I have a ton of respect for people that aren't wishy-washy, flippy-floppy, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You get authentic them.
Right. And we've talked about that numerous times on how much we respect that. Like, I gotta temper down here, right? But you get pretty much the real me all the time.
Yep.
And sometimes I get fired up and swear a little bit.
That's in the
and
blooper
everything
reels.
else. And I mean, but that's, you know, I'm Popeye.
Right.
And there's also a different audience, right? And it's one I've always preached to my kids. Know your audience and who you're with, right? There's you're around your wrestling coach or your football, your ball coach, and how you can speak and banter with them versus, oh, now there's little kids in the room. Or now there's moms in the room and you're interacting, you're coaching their kid or mentoring their kid. Well, there's certain things that you got to reel back on, you know. Training a high school kid is different than training that high school kid's grandma, right? Like,
delivery and how we say things is important too.
Yeah, and
I love the moments like the B-roll is happening and you're popping off.
Well, it all depends, right? And you get me fired up and
what you're saying is we should have a Packers fan on.
Where'd you get that? Where would that come from in any of this?
I just like seeing you fired up.
Like,
that's the only way I know to really get you going.
I would show up like a ghost. Like, you wouldn't see me walk through that door.
No.
Like, I ain't sitting in the same room as them. Like, I get a lot of the comments, right? My little banner might not be politically correct for that certain franchise.
Right.
I mean, you can ask my buddy Ryan, who thinks he's really good at talking crap, who's a Packers fan. And he won't even have me at his house when he used to, like, we'll have a party in the pole barn. And I'm the only one sober. Well, a lot of them are sober, but most people are drinking anyhow, right? And he opens his mouth one time, And then he's the punching bag. And he gets it. And I mean, he's a typical Packers fan, right? He can take it. And it's nonstop. He doesn't even try, right? Anymore. It's like, nope, I don't get that invite because he knows. He thought he was good at talking crap. That subject comes up, I'm under.
Shut down.
Oh, he knows better. He knows better.
Well, I think it's hilarious getting you fired up, but man, what are friends for?
Yeah. I mean, why not, right? You used to drink and do a lot of drugs. Let's see how high we can get your blood pressure. That's what friends do. That's all right. I love you too.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, don't forget to comment what you want to see. I am grateful for everyone that tunes in, listens to this, because you are the reason the message gets carried from all of our guests. Without you guys, we don't do this. So I want to highlight, there's been a handful of people over the first season that have sent me some pretty long messages about this about what we're doing here and how it's really changed their lives. I want to thank you especially because as a podcaster, well, I can say that now, but when we started this and it was just brand new, I had a little bit of what do you call it? Imposter syndrome. Like, what am I doing here? In those comments from people, Matt, you're one. I want to shout you out because yours was really important, man. Those comments made a huge difference. They fueled me up, made me realize the mission had been accomplished with just one person. So
that's what you told me off the rip.
That
was your goal. If it was a failure, it wouldn't be a failure if it was one person.
Right. So it's a success. And going forward, you know me. I hit one home run in a game. I'm going up trying to hit two. So feel like there's more for people to come on here and share that we can learn, that they can teach our audience.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, I think we just scratched the surface. I'm interested in seeing the suggestions.
Yeah, me too.
On all the different people and the different topics.
Yeah.
Right? Because first person you brought up, cancer survivor. It's limited and it comes up often with the working out and, us personal training and everything else. But there's a whole lot, right? I take more pride in my strength and sobriety than I do on any weight, on any exercise that I've ever moved, right? And the fact that I don't need it, I still have them same demons, the same battles. I like different ways to get through. There's more strength in that than, anything I could do in the gym and it's huge. And I'm sure there's lots of good people. Ones that we're probably going to be pretty close to. They were like, how do we not think of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have some ideas too. And we got a couple returning guests that we're working on dates. I know, Buddy, talked to him already. He's planning on coming back, and we have some specific recovery topics that him and I have both discussed that I think really need to be heard. So, I know I got some on the schedule already, but I'm not telling you guys. Thank you again for tuning in.